when you like stick that on a pad, it creates this like crazy shimmery sound, especially if you have reverb on it.
Can you play that again? It cut out for a second. Can you...
Yeah, yeah.
Don't break, don't break,
Interesting.
don't break,
Yeah, it's kind of
don't
It
break.
sounds a little bit like
it's a
a
weird
bit
effect.
crusher, like a little bit crushing kind of sound with a little bit of like
Yep,
a pitch shifting chorusy type of thing going on. That's super fun. That's
yep.
cool. So erosion seems fun for like vocals and just doing some weird shit. What else? What else do you like from Ableton's audio effects?
Um, auto filter, of course. That's like a go-to
Yes,
on everything.
love that thing.
Um, I mean, yeah, I use auto filter, compressor, blue compressor, and the ping pong delay on almost everything. I use basically everything on this chain, um, or
Okay,
on this effect rack.
cool.
Um, utility is like I talked about this the last webinar that I had, but it's like super key for making these quick um, sound cuts. So I'll just play this melodic line here. But what I have set up is this like utility rack chain.
Nice.
So I have three of them set up. If you only have one set up and then you duck the volume all the way down, it doesn't actually cut the volume all the way out. So I just set up like three utility racks, put them in a group, and then mapped the on and off button of this group to the uh, to the utility. So basically, whenever I
Okay.
turn this rack on, the volume will duck. With it off, the volume will stay the same. So I can just I'll play it back and you can see it work.
Yeah, that's tight.
You can see it kind of like flash back and forth. You guys see that?
Sorry, I muted myself. I was talking to myself.
It's okay.
I was just talking to myself for the last couple of minutes. Yeah, so it's like a ducking, almost kind of a side chaining type of effect that you have going on.
Yep,
That's really tight.
exactly.
Yeah. Do you ever use any side chaining with the compressor at all?
Oh yeah, on everything.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'll let's see. Yeah, so one little tip that I learned from some dudes, if you use two sidechain compressors instead of one and have them both on like pretty minimal settings, it actually creates like a bigger sidechain effect. So I don't know exactly why, but
Hmm. That's
I've
interesting.
seen a huge difference doing that.
Okay.
Just like having them both on like pretty low settings
Are they
instead
are
of
they
one
the
on like a really high setting.
are they the exact same settings, or like what are you doing different for each instance?
Um, it's not really like a set method. I'm just like playing around with it. I don't really have like
Okay.
a way. I don't have like a certain decibel to set it at. I just like fool around with
You
it.
just kind
But
of yeah, just happy accidents, really.
yeah,
Those are the
exactly.
those
I
are the
mean,
best.
I'd have the without doing both of these, I'd have the threshold set to like -30 or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, whereas now it's like -22.
Okay.
And then this one's at like -13. The ratios are both not as high as they would be alone,
Yeah.
and same for the release.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah, because
yeah,
you're catching like a dry and a wet signal by having two different ratios, and it's kind of spreading that sound. That's yeah, that's cool. I never thought about
yeah,
doing that. I'll have to
exactly.
try that. That's
Yeah,
dope. Let's see in the chat if anybody posted any other questions. Yeah, somebody asked any tips on EQ and making sure each sound has its own space.
yeah.
It's a good
I would
question.
definitely recommend you guys getting the Fab Filter Pro Q2.
Yes.
This
So
EQ has
so
like
good.
saved my life.
Yep.
Um,
It's a
yeah, it's
lifesaver.
so clutch. I just like how big it is and how easy it is to find a certain pitch. It's really simple to use.
Oh yeah.
But as far as like EQing goes, I guess now like I've kind of realized what instruments take up what frequency range. As before, I just like stuck a shitload of instruments in a project and like hope they would work together. But
We've all done that though.
as
I think anybody
yeah,
who
for
started
sure.
producing music was like, why does my mix sound like crap? I have no idea. And you have like four basses playing the same note. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going through like a tube or something.
Right. Yeah. The like your master's just like completely red and exploding. Yep.
Yeah.
That's yep.
Um, but yeah, I like to keep things kind of separate. So EQing kind of comes into play with grouping things. So I'll have like my melodic channel grouped, which is everything that's up in the mid high range. So like soft synths, like more sparkly synth stuff, maybe some like piano. Anything that's really melodic, I'll put in this group. And I know that it shouldn't really go below like 200 hertz or yeah, 150 to 200 hertz.
Cool.
So I'll have like one group dedicated to that, and I'll EQ it as such. So I have this like uh, side EQ here, ducking out anything below 50. And then where's the other EQ? This is it. Yeah, so this is like pretty weird looking EQ, but I just like EQ'd out all the harsh frequencies within the group here, just so everything sounds clean. And so I got like the melodic group, and then this mid group here. I kept it on EQ. So I wanted to boost like the mid end range here, just to give it more of that grit, and then duck some of the high end here, and
Yeah.
then
What instrument is that again?
this is like the mid bass thing.
Okay. So you're layering a bunch of basses together.
Yeah. Um, so I got that channel, and then the guitar is kind of just like the mid high end range. If I open up the guitar here, this EQ is a fucking clusterfuck.
It's an
I did
interesting curve
not.
you got going on there, man. It looks like a mountain from Denver. It's like trying to like do some interesting sculpting going on.
Yeah,
That's,
exactly.
it's interesting.
Um, yeah, I didn't really know what I was doing with this. It was just kind of like trial and error, but it ended
Yeah,
up sounding good. Um,
nice. Hey, if it sounds good, it sounds good, right?
yeah, exactly. I didn't take out too many frequencies, so it still has that nice like tinny guitar sound.
Cool.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, just like thinking about instruments' respective place in the mix is like extremely key. Instead of just like diving into a track and like filling as much stuff as you can into the project, it's better to like consciously think about what instrument will fill that frequency range, or EQing it afterwards and being like, all right, this piano sound has frequency range from 300 to 600, and the mid bass has frequency range 100 to 200. So I'm just going to duck around that and cut all the frequencies around that so both fit within their perspective frequency range. Yeah.
So, do you have a process that you typically do when you're getting close to, say, finishing a song? You know, you were talking about finding what instruments fit the frequency range. Do you have a method of like how you reference your tracks? Do you like bounce them and then put them on Dropbox and go to your car, or do you like have like a pretty good mixing environment you just trust with your speakers or headphones in your home studio?
Yeah. So I don't really have like one good method right now.
Okay.
I'm still I think we're always still learning how to mix down our tracks. So
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do it. But for now, I'll make sure the mix is really good first. So I'll I don't know, I'll spend like a week probably working on the mix. Just making sure every little element is good. Like I'll write down notes the first time I listen through it, and then come back to it maybe the next day, be like, okay, that note was unnecessary, and I'll fix this thing.
Sure.
Um, so once I get like the mixing thing down, I'll I will bring it to my car, um, play it through my iPhone, listen to see if everything sounds pretty good there. I'll reference it on my like shitty Apple earbuds.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
That's smart though. It
I'll
really
play it.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone uses them, so we
Exactly.
should reference it
That's
on there.
that's true. Yeah. In a perfect world, everybody would just be, I feel like, wearing like Sennheiser mixing headphones when they go to the gym and listen to me. You know what I mean?
Right?
Like, it's so true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
Cool.
I'll play it on my computer speakers too. Like that's one of the main things that I've noticed. Like if it sounds really clean and crisp on your computer speakers, it'll sound fucking awesome on everything else.
Yeah.
Um, like if you just produce on your computer speakers exclusively, somehow it sounds amazing. I don't
Really.
know exactly why, but yeah,
That's
man, like I
probably is kind of hard to hear the bass though. I would imagine.
yeah, absolutely. So
Right.
yeah, that comes later. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. No, that's good, dude. Also speaking of like headphones and gear and stuff, do you have any favorite like go-to MIDI controllers that you like to use for producing or even on stage?
Yeah, I'm currently using an Akai MPK 249. It's like a 49 key keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great controller.
Thing is, yeah, I think it's great. It's like relatively cheap. It has some pads on it, knobs, faders. Works works as well as it could on Ableton. And then just recently, over the summer, I bought a Roland SPDSX drum pad
Yeah.
that I've been using in my live sets.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the thing is awesome. I still like want to figure out how to do cooler stuff with it because I know there's just like unlimited things you can do.
Yeah. Do
Um,
you how do you I guess load the sounds from your project? Do you load the sounds into the actual brain of the drum pad, or do you basically use it just like to trigger MIDI sounds in Ableton?
yeah, so I'll like set up a drum rack and I'll do the MIDI configuration inside the Roland and basically just have the drum rack set up the way it
Cool.
is on the SPDSX. So I'll just have like three sounds, three sounds, three sounds, all in a
Yeah.
line. Um,
Yeah,
I
I
know
mean,
it's
that's the standard for sure. I mean, you go anywhere, most of the time I'm seeing that SPDSX being played on stage. A lot of bands are using it. It's a
yeah,
great drum pad. I think it's like $800 or so.
yeah, it was a hefty investment
It
for sure.
is. Yeah, right. Yeah. It could be worth it though if you want to play, with sticks and have electronic drums. It's super nice.
Yeah, I also have seen people play with their hands as kind of like bongos, so I kind of want to try that out too.
Yeah,
So
that would be tight. Yeah, those pads are
see.
sensitive. I actually used to own one. I loved it. I ended up switching to the Octapad. It's Roland's other pad. But they're both
Yeah,
great. They're both awesome.
I know
Cool.
Odessa uses that one.
Oh yeah, dude, I love Odessa. Big fan for sure.
So
Um, but so describe, I guess, what's your most memorable moment? Like when did you find that like in your pursuit of making music a career, where was like the pivotal point that you did? Was it a specific incident, or did you like find a certain method of being able to be like, okay, I can actually be a full-time producer now and play live? Like, are there any, I guess, tips or things you want to pass on to anybody who wants to make music a career as far as being a producer and a performer?
Um, yeah, I guess like a pivotal moment for me was my senior year of high school. I like played my first show that year at the Fox Theater in Boulder. I opened for Alvin Risk.
No, nice.
It was just like such a cool experience to finally be up there and not be a viewer anymore. To be able to like play a show was like pretty incredible. Um, that really kind of solidified things for me that I don't want to do anything else. Like I've I've tried to work other jobs as well. Like I worked at a bagel shop. I like worked at a snowshoe manufacturing shop, and like all of those places didn't do it for me. Like I always wanted to do something else.
Yeah,
And um, yeah, being in school has really solidified that for me as well. Uh, and just playing more and more shows too. Like it's just such an unreal experience to like play for people.
sure.
Um, that I don't
When
know.
when
It's
you were first starting out trying to book shows, how did you go about that?
yeah. So the first show I got, the Alvin Risk one, I I hit up the talent buyer about 3 months before the show, asking if they had an opener, and they emailed me back 2 days after that, and they were like, "Okay, we'll submit you." I sent them a long email. This was like my first email to anyone professional.
Wow, must have been a good one though.
It was
That's
pretty. Yeah,
great.
I don't know.
Spell check and everything.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I had like one paragraph explaining who I was, and then the second was me just being like, "All right, I'll bring 30 people to this show. I'll do a bunch of promo for you guys. Like, I'll do anything to play this show, basically." Um,
Cool.
so the talent buyer submitted me to Alvin Rist's manager, I believe, and about a month before the show, I was accepted and played the show. Then once you play one like major show in your market, people will start to notice that,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and people will like see your name and be like, okay, let's try this kid on this show.
Sure.
And if you do really well in each show that you play, then they'll want you back even more and more.
Yeah.
Um, so getting relationships with those people is really important for me.
For
Like
sure.
the like AEG in Colorado, I have a strong relationship with one of the talent buyers there.
Nice.
Um, yeah, just like maintaining a good relationship and killing at every show, selling tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like
Yeah, no, I mean relationships are everything, I feel like in any industry, but especially in the music industry.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I've learned that as well. What else? So speaking about like live performance and stuff, do you have a process that you go through to take your song from Ableton and convert it into performing live? Like, how do you perform live, I guess, from a technical aspect?
Yeah, so um, next week will be like my fourth live show. So I'm still kind of like figuring it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought you've
so
been playing out like way more than that. I mean, you've had some big shows for only playing four shows, man. That's
no, 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 no.
I was like,
For live set shows. The
oh,
other shows
gotcha. Okay, I was like, I'm pretty sure you've been playing way longer than that. All
that
right,
no,
all
no,
right,
no,
yeah.
no.
This is
So
like
this,
this is your first song
yeah,
you ever made in Ableton too, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. So this will be like my fourth live set show.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you
So
mean? What do you mean by live set? Like, what does that mean?
it's just playing instruments on stage and
Okay.
singing live as well. Just not using Tractor or like CDJs.
Right.
Um, So usually the process that I've been going through lately is putting my songs through Tractor. Let me open that up real quick.
Yeah. Let's see that. I'm curious.
So I'll organize my set in Tractor first because I like the way that it works with key recognition. I use a thing called the Camelot wheel, um, in every single set of mine. So I will.
And that's based
I'll
on
lay.
the circle of fifths, right? It just assigns numbers instead of note values, right?
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. Well,
Yeah,
instead of the key. So
right.
like 3M is like A or something.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter. So basically, you have like a formula. You can like go up one on the Camelot wheel, and it'll mix perfectly. So like 3M to 4M will mix. 5M to 8M will mix. If you go up three, 8M to 9D works. So I'll just like lay out all these songs so they're melodically in key first, and have them all laid out as my set list. So these are 20 songs. I don't actually know if this will be the final set for next week. Um, but I'll just lay it out and then go to Ableton and drag these tracks in from Tractor to Ableton and start like editing them, like doing live edits. And then I'll assign like certain uh, MIDI instruments to each song that I can play over. So like this Millennium Inside the Sky song, I'll like play keys and do some drumming stuff over, just so it's like more of a live experience instead of me just like standing there playing it. Um, so yeah, all the mixing is done in Ableton,
Nice.
and that's kind of how I go about it.
Yeah, so I imagine Tractor is also really great for leveling the audio because, obviously not every track you produce is going to be at the exact same loudness. So that's probably super helpful as well, being able to like level some of that out. Or are you using it
Um,
just purely for the Camelot wheel and knowing keys and changes?
yeah, Tractor doesn't really do any audio leveling. I think you're thinking of Platinum Note. Um,
Right. And maybe I'm wrong, but I thought Tractor Pro actually does like automate the volume. And can't you record sessions inside Tractor? So maybe I misunderstood. I thought that was maybe part of the process.
um, well, when you like drag a song, so I just lay out the entire set list basically, so I know it's in key, I know what
Okay.
tempo it's at. And I'll drag each song um, from 1 to 20 into Ableton and start organizing it there.
Okay.
Um, so the volume doesn't change from the original track
Gotcha.
unless I record the entire set in Tractor first. Um,
Okay.
but then I would just be not doing anything.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would just be pressing play and yeah. So
You're just fist pumping the entire time. Just a lot of
yeah,
fist
dude.
pumping from stage. Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
it's cool, like, for people who just want to DJ, and, like, it's definitely an art, but, there's something about having that live instrument element that just brings a whole new level of energy to the stage, and I love that about you and what you do is you find ways to incorporate electronic music outside the DJ world where you're actually singing, you're actually playing like MIDI controllers and instruments as you're doing it live. It adds a realism to the set for sure, and I think people feed off that.
Yeah, I mean, ever since I like switched to the live set thing, I don't have any desire to go back to DJing
Oh yeah,
unless it's like a one-off thing, like do a DJ set at a nightclub, and I'll do
for
that.
sure. So as far as like your outputs, how much control when you're playing live do you give the sound man from Ableton?
Haven't really figured that quite out yet either, but
I mean,
I'm
neither. I was
using
I was hoping you had the answer because I literally am still figuring that out too. Yeah.
um, yeah, so I'm using Apollo Twin interface by
Nice.
Universal Audio.
Yeah, and that has two or four outputs.
It has four outputs.
Okay. Nice.
So all I'm doing is running balanced left and right output to DI boxes to the front of the
Gotcha.
house.
Yeah, yeah. So you're just giving them like a stereo out.
Yeah.
Nice. But that's, there's definitely benefits and disadvantages to that I've found in like my own experience. It obviously if you have a really good sounding mix, it's so nice because you're being able to take more control of the sound of the atmosphere, and it's consistent, right? Like everywhere you go, that's really good. And then there's also that point of where it's like not every venue is going to sound exactly the same, and so it's like you might have like the bass might just sound a little more muddy at times if you're in like a small environment, with like a big sound system than like an outdoor stage or something. But
Right, exactly.
but yeah, no, I totally agree. I think you're seeing a lot of artists doing the stereo out game now because you have the ability to control the mix a lot more inside the box. But
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I should be doing it, but it's
yeah,
working so far. It's just like a learning experience for me too. So
sure. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
we're all learning, right? Um,
Hmm.
so I guess if you could, one thing you said that like I really thought was valuable, even in the last webinar, this is the second one we've done, was you talked about just hitting up, for those of the people listening that want to play live shows, it's just hitting up promoters and like managers of bands that are coming through your local city and just asking for the opportunity to play and sending your music. I think that's like really key just to getting your name out there as a producer, as an artist. I think that's really valuable
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and like to not get too discouraged if someone doesn't respond.
Yeah,
Just like keep keep doing it. Um,
right.
yeah, I've had a lot of people blow me off, and it sucks a lot. But
Well, it's their loss, right?
yeah, I mean, better things will come out of it. Um,
Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. That's true.
yeah.
No, that's cool, man.
Um, but
So it,
also just like talking to everyone too, like no matter what their size is or whatever, like on SoundCloud, like that dude has 20,000 followers, or like he has 500 followers less than me. I shouldn't talk to him.
yeah.
I definitely had that mindset when I first started,
Really.
but just talking to people, like anyone, you have no idea where they're going to be in a year,
Yep.
and that can like really make or break you.
It's true.
Like I talked to Millennium 4 years ago when like he was just starting out on SoundCloud, and I was like, "Yo, dude, let's collab." And he was like, "Yeah, dude, let's meet up." Like, no, this is not going to happen. And then like
Right.
6 months later, he's like fucking
Oh,
huge.
he's
So
huge. Yeah. I mean, he
yeah,
headlined Electric Forest and so many festivals all over the country and the world, really.
yeah,
That's,
he's doing really good stuff now.
oh, for
So
sure.
yeah, just like anyone, like messaging them on Facebook, SoundCloud, just like being their friend first and not really being their producer friend, like just like
Yeah,
form friendships online, like
it's
video
true.
games with them, like Skype with them, just like whatever you can.
Absolutely. Yeah, like that comes back to it's just about relationships, right? And
Yeah,
just
yeah, huge.
sharing each other's art. That's why we're all here, right? But
Yeah,
that's cool,
exactly.
man. So I guess is there any other advice that you could give to people as far as like producing or like performing that somebody maybe gave you, or like a quote that you thought was inspirational?
Um, I guess just like sticking to yourself and not trying to be anyone else. Um,
Yeah.
not sticking to trends. Like, just make whatever music you want to make. I know you guys have all probably heard that like a fucking million times, but it's so true. Like everyone will say that, but it is like the most true thing that you can do. Just like really do you, because if you look at other people, you're going to get discouraged and want to quit.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
just keep writing music you want to make and stop worrying about what other people are doing.
Yeah. For sure. Um, Cool, man. Well, I know we're running close to 5 o'clock, and I wanted to say, I guess if you had to choose, say, like your top favorite plugins of all time, like what would they be?
All right. Serum,
All right.
Massive, Pro Q2, um, Contact, for sure. Um, I gotta look through Ableton.
Yeah, no, I was like, yeah, if you want to like pull them up as you say them, just so like just flash them real quick so people can see them.
Ooh, I also got this really sick new plugin by shit, who made this? Uh, it's okay. The plugin is just called Retro Color. It's like a noise plugin almost. Like you can put it on anything and it'll make it sound like it's old. And
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
it's a
It's
really really nice.
like a vintage vibe.
Yeah, yeah, that's like
I'm
this
all about
really
that.
cool analog sound to everything. So definitely. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
funny. It's funny because like you come like from the line of recording, it just tape machines, right? Tape machines is how people recorded, and it was like that cool, like warm, rich, fat sound. And then they came to digital, like recording in Ableton and Pro Tools was like up and coming, like back in like the '90s and stuff. And now people like want the old vintage sound again with tape machines. Like you went from like tape to like digital, and now people are like, oh, I miss the old school vibe, especially like in hip hop music. So now it's like they're creating software to emulate like what was old gear that was being used in the studio like decades ago.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I honestly like want to go into a studio and just work with tape exclusively sometime. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's time. It's definitely time consuming. I was blessed to go to a tape machine camp at 1979 Studios in Nashville and learn how to calibrate tape. And by the end of the entire conference or whatever, I came home just realizing how much I love tape plugins because it's like you spend so much time just trying to like tweak and get it right and align the tape and all that stuff, and then you're like, I could have had all this done like an hour ago just by double clicking. Like it's like, but no, that's cool. It is. There's definitely lovable imperfections about using like real, actual analog tape machine. But
Yeah, yeah, I like, yeah, just like the sound that people have been producing from it, like Tycho, like I really
oh
love
yeah,
that
for
that
sure.
warm analog noise sound. It's so cool.
Yep, it's so sexy. It really is.
Yeah, dude.
Cool, man. Well,
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions at all? I know I
yeah.
kind of like skimmed through everything.
Throw it into the chat if you guys have any last minute questions before we all peace out. Also, I want to give a shout out to your social media. I'm going to drop your SoundCloud and your Facebook page in the chat if anybody
Oh,
wants
sweet.
to follow your future endeavors. I know you have an album coming out. You said November?
EP in November, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be cool. We'll definitely check that out. Share it around, share the love. I just posted
Yeah.
your SoundCloud and your Facebook. Covex Music is your handle. And yeah,
Dude.
if anybody else has any last minute questions, throw it in. Otherwise, we'll be doing more of these. And I don't know if everybody on the call has checked out the Ableton Facebook group for Indianapolis. But I'm kind of leading that up, and this is a great way to like connect within Indianapolis and just kind of follow up, share your music, share tips and tricks you're using with Ableton, and then hopefully, yeah, we can all share each other's love and become good friends. So I posted that Facebook group in there too if you guys want to follow around anybody from the Indiana area. But yeah, Kim says thanks, Brendan, for your time. I also want to thank you. I'm
Dude.
excited to see where you go, man. It seems like your career with music has really been picking up in the last year since we had the last one of these. And I'm happy for you. I'm excited for you. I know you're opening up for Crywolf. That's another huge EDM artist right now. But yeah, so thanks again, dude. If you want to stick
Yeah,
around
thank
for a
you.
second, and I'll talk to you after this real quick. But
Yeah.
thanks everybody else for coming out, and hopefully we'll see you guys at another one of these. It'll be a good time.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. All
Cool.
you guys coming. Appreciate it.